Azumah. I'm a Ghanaian. I was born in a village called Garu in the Upper East region of Ghana. I grew up, went to primary, middle school, and during those days they used to call it middle school, and then to secondary school in Norungu, same in the Upper East region. That was a minor seminary, so I was expected that at least at the end of the minor seminary I would have made a decision to, or gotten what we call in the Catholic parlance, gotten a call, to go to the major seminary and then pursue a priesthood in study. Well, I wouldn't say unfortunately, but I didn't go. I went to sixth form in Tamale Secondary School, and then from there I proceeded to the University of Cape Coast to do my accounting degree, BCom. I had a 1-year stint of language studies anyway in Legon, University of Ghana, Legon, where I pursued for the first year FUE, in French, Spanish, and linguistics. And being a young man that time, very adventurous, I decided to abandon that and then to start a new field altogether, an unknown area in accounting, which I had never done in my secondary studies. And I came out, then in search of greener pastures. I went to Accra, Ghana. I did my national service in a way back in the university as a teaching assistant in accounting, and came then to Accra in search of greener pastures, and then eventually found myself in the Accountant General's Department of Ghana as an internal auditor. That was 1992 and 1993 when the Fourth Republic was being inaugurated. I was lucky, God chose me to be the first internal auditor of the Ghana Parliament. So I started, that was where I started my parliamentary life. So in 1994, when the office of Parliament in Ghana was converted into a parliamentary service, we were absorbed into the service, and I was redesignated as an accountant. And subsequently, I went to the UK in 2000. I got the British Chevening Scholarship. I was one of the privileged few to go to the University of Birmingham to do an MBA in economic management and public service international. I did that for 1 year, came back in 2001 and 2002 again as luck would have for me. The Ecowas Parliament was opened and I was posted from the Ghana Parliament to the Ecowas Parliament as an accountant in July 2002. So that is what brought me up to Nigeria.
How would you describe your working in the Ghana Parliament then? Can you give us a little insight? How was it then?
It was very, very exciting. It was the start of the Fourth Republic, and virtually a start from the beginnings of a parliament. Parliaments had always been truncated anytime that there were coups. So it was quite an exciting moment for both the newly elected MPs and then the staff who were to provide service. We started actually from the International Conference Center that used to be called Pink House, and then the staff and then the clerk of Parliament was still at the old Parliament House at Makola, where we now have SHRAJ, the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, and other offices. So we're shuttling. It was interesting, and we tried to pick pieces up from the previous parliaments that were disbanded, and then we made, put things together. Again, it was mainly one, party sort of parliament, because the opposition party then boycotted the parliamentary elections. So it was very interesting to see how amongst themselves they could play the role of holding government accountable. But there was one interesting scenario that played out where there was Honorable Hawa Yakubu of blessed memory, who was an independent MP from the northern part of Ghana, precisely Baku. She was my sister, distant sister. And she played a very strong role as the opposition. So she was always there to keep government on its toes. How Yakubu played that role very creditably, and then, in fact, she got a lot of support from civil society, and NGOs and other international organizations that thought that there was the need, for that type of discourse in Parliament, having to differentiate between government, business, and then Parliament to hold government accountable institution. Yes, so as I told you, 2002, I was brought to Abuja as the first accountant. I progressed from there to chief accountant and to director administration and finance, the DAF, and what God has given to me right now, with all due humility, is the position of the clerk of Parliament that we call here Secretary General. It has been very, very eye-opening. To be honest with you, I myself, when I came in 2002, I didn't know much about Ecowas. So it really gave me the opportunity to go into, what the whole Ecowas agenda is all about. And it has been very, very insightful, especially from the parliamentary perspective. How Parliament could complement the efforts of the Ecowas then Secretariat, now Commission, in their efforts to bring integration of our people closer to the people. And Parliament being representative of the people is the right place for such a program. So we started off with such programs as moving to the people, having meetings in member states, getting involved in the war situation in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, and then also getting involved in attempted coups in Niger, in Cote d'Ivoire, where there were struggles, Guinea-Bissau, so it was really a very big eye-opener, and then from there we're able to fashion Parliament's role in the integration architecture. We have the protocols that gave us our competencies. We were able to change from the initial protocol to an additional protocol, and subsequently to a supplementary act, which has further enhanced our powers. That we now are involved in parliamentary diplomacy, in election issues in the member states, in an oversight of holding the executive, that is the commission and other program institutions, to account for their stewardship for the programs that they are putting on ground for the citizens, to be able to move freely. The whole idea of ECOWAS was to ensure that there was free movement of the people, goods and services, that is to increase their living standards. If we are able to implement those programs, we believe strongly that the people's lives will be enhanced. There will be peace, there will be happiness. People can easily move and travel and then integrate and then settle, and that is what the ECOWAS is all about, that our founding fathers carved out for us. So basically the Parliament is playing that complementary role to the efforts of the Commission, using the parliamentary tools at our disposal to assist program institutions, particularly the ECOWAS Commission, to support other institutions like the judiciary, the Community Court of Justice, the West African Health Organization. Health is a big challenge in the sub-region, and they need support, and all other agencies and institutions. So Parliament is really an interesting area that we are trying to build up to contribute to the success of the integration agenda.